Couple of boys back inside. One in Braden who hasn't been playing for a while, and another in Jared who's had a pretty tough off-season.
Yeah. Jared's been dealing with a bit of osteitis and getting some fitness, so it's been a long process. So to see him back in the side's great. I've sort of missed that type of player who put pressure on, play an instinct and bring a bit of skill as well. So a good addition to the side. And at Ainsworth, I mentioned to the boys just then, no one works harder than him on his craft, so deserves his spot in the side.
What's he shown over the last couple of months of you? Because it's been quite some time since he's played at the senior level. What's he shown?
Oh, look, he's got high-end endurance and repeat speed. He's tough and he's role-driven, so we've got a clear role for him, which he's aware of. So that'll take place tomorrow. But yeah, I'm really proud of the fact he's got back in the side.
Bit of a tagging role or something like that?
No, we'll wait and see. But yeah, there's skills and attributes he's got that we can try and expose and get out of him that we might not have those type of players in our side. So it's really good for us.
Your the midfield that you had, so many senior guys, played a lot of footy, high-end talents. It's been hard to get games into the midfielders in particular.
Yeah.
Is this a good chance? It's a blessing in disguise?
No blessing in disguise of missing Luke Shuey, but an opportunity. So, and Brandon's had that opportunity this year, Ainsworth. I think some of the transition selection items we've had has been quite positive for the youth coming through. Seen Oscar Allen and Waterman and Petruccelli's played a bit of footy this year, and Dom's still pretty young. Nelson, Cole, these guys coming through are really starting to establish themselves in the side, which is good for our future.
Has there been a determined decision to filter youth through?
We've always had an eye on making sure we don't get too top heavy with our profile, with our age and experience, but you still got to pick your best side. So I think we've managed okay in the past 4 or 5 years to get those kids into the side at stages, and it really helped us a few years ago, and I've got no doubt it'll help us in the future.
What about Riley O'Brien's mistake yesterday, the Adelaide ruckman?
Oh yeah, that's got nothing to do with us. That's an Adelaide issue.
Expecting Nick to be fired up a little bit, maybe, if he wasn't enough already?
Don't know. I'm pretty sure Nick didn't ask for an apology.
Was there any talk about it at all once that? Like, is anyone getting stuck into him, mucking around? Was it taken as a joke and taken seriously?
Haven't heard a word.
Haven't heard a word.
No.
Do you think that's the sort of thing that would fire him up then?
Nick's a pro. He'll play the way he needs to play every week.
The fixtures, obviously, we're awaiting what the next block might look like. There's a lot of talk that could see games really crunched down in 32 games over the space of a few 4-day breaks.
Yeah.
How do you think your side would handle that?
I don't know. That's all part of this year, isn't it? So, that's in front of us. So we've really got to concentrate on Adelaide and try and get our third win of the season. So that's in the future. I mean, getting back to Perth, the Derby, all that sort of stuff, it's secondary to tomorrow.
Just on the big stuff, I clearly don't want to talk too much about it, but for someone to write that he's lazy and unfit, he's clearly not those things.
Yeah, it's that's an Adelaide thing. It's not nothing to do with me or our club. So that's something they're dealing with.
And looking even further into the future, so I feel like how you can answer this one. The grand final, they're looking for a venue. ANZ Stadium gaining a lot of steam, but Optus, it's a fantastic venue. If it was up for grabs.
Yeah, everyone in Western Australia, including me, would love the grand final to be played in Western Australia. So it's a pretty obvious answer to that one. But yeah, like you probably know, I'm not focusing on where the grand final should be played. So we'll let the AFL work on that one, and we'll concentrate in Adelaide.
Just one more day in the hub. That's it. You're going home tomorrow. It's been a strange experience. Can you sum it up for us?
Oh, we've had a lot of growth internally. We've the opportunity we've had to grow inside this hub has been really good. We haven't performed to the levels we'd wanted to, but everything's sort of I don't know. It's been on turbo mode in terms of what we've been trying to do and plan and work through, and starting to see some better signs on field. But yeah, some of the growth off field we've seen has been really positive.
It's been hard to stay focused all this week with the packing up that's going on and the thought of being so close to home. Yeah.
No, it's been okay. Yeah, we're in a routine now. So I think a lot of our players now it took a few weeks, and that's probably the challenge for everyone going into a hub is how do you get a routine? And look, I thought going into the Port game, we started to establish patterns of behaviour around the environment. So that's whether that's connected on field or not, but we sort of know the routine of meetings and where we have them and what you do on your day off and all those sort of things it's hard to get settled with. That sort of clicked into gear, I reckon, halfway through the third week. So that's a challenge for everyone going into a hub.
Do you think it'll change now you're going home and obviously still get a chance to do all the face-to-face stuff with the players, but now that they can't go out and have a bit of a switch off, do you think it'll change that? New challenge?
Yeah, it's a new challenge when we get back. So that's what's in front of us. It's the one thing I suppose every club's got to deal with. It's a different environment. We're very process-driven and very structured, and our players are as well. So being a little bit dynamic with changes of itinerary and games and who we're playing and when and where, that's the challenge for all of us. And some of us will do it well and some of us won't.
You mentioned a couple of times throughout the time here about intensity, and then on TV that night you said pressure's a privilege and no one really knows anyone up here, and players get around and do whatever they want. Are you looking forward to, or the players looking forward to being back in footy atmosphere again, which might drive them again? There's an interesting comment you made.
Yeah, look, I suppose they're used to the environment back in Perth, so I can't tell you. It's interesting what they got to deal with back home versus here. So it was different. We lose 3 in a row, and you can actually hide away from a lot of things up here. So I think we're used to having a bit more heat on us, which I shouldn't say that because that's not really what we want. But that was just a feeling for me personally. So I can't speak on behalf of the players, but yeah, it just adds to the season, doesn't it? It's just unique.
It's been interesting watching the Victorian teams up here. No one's watching them train like this. Teams training over at the moment. There's school carnivals going on. No one cares that they're there. Is it different being in that sort of situation?
Yeah, well, that's the challenge, So you're trying to block out all that stuff and stay on task and play the brand you want to play. I dare say we're not going to be the blueprint. I don't think we played the brand we wanted to play for in particular first 3 weeks, but we've got a lot of growth. There's been a lot of positives out of this trip, and hopefully that you see that on field in the coming weeks.
One thing that is for certain when you go home is you'll be playing in front of fans. I'm not sure whether it's going to be a full 60,000 or 30,000. We'll find out today. Hopefully you're going to get a full crowd in, and how will that change things for players?
I don't know. I've just had my head in Adelaide and how important this game is. So that'll take care of itself. I've got absolutely no control over that. So of course we'd like to play in front of big crowds. Some players really feed off that. We're getting used to playing in front of no one. So I think everyone in the industry would love to play in front of a full house.
Adelaide have been copping it. They haven't won a game, and the heat's on from their media back in Adelaide. And how do you not get distracted going home, playing a team that hasn't won? How do you keep the boys up for a game like this?
Yeah, well, hopefully our maturity of our group. I thought we saw good signs last week of the way we want to play. That's how we'll start this week, and hopefully we can perform like that all game. But Adelaide, they've got a lot of pride in their club, a lot of history, and they'll be out to win as well. So I thought, for 3 quarters last week, they were exceptional, and they had every opportunity to win that game. So yeah, we're definitely not taking this game lightly at all. We think we've had one good game. They've had patches and haven't had a win. So I see it as a really, really big challenge for us.
The midfield's still been quite strong. It's just, I guess, their ball use of them that's letting them down. But Crouch Brothers still getting plenty of them. Are those some of the guys you look at maybe putting some extra attention to make sure you're trying to nullify?
Oh yeah, there's everything we've got to look at. So the youth coming through, it hasn't probably clicked for them yet, but you can see signs. And when you actually code these games and you look at it, I've seen improvement every week that I've watched their games. So just hope it's not too much this week.
You've been in this where you've known this is your opponent, this is your day.
Yeah.
And then the next couple of weeks you don't have a day, but you're going to play Geelong and Collingwood in some sort of order.
Yeah.
Is it good for Matt to know what's coming up as opposed to every other club that's going wonder what's happening?
I don't think so. I mean, we thought we were playing Richmond last week, and we found out on Monday we were playing Sydney. The way the coaches operate and the players is on Monday we'll get into who we're playing, whereas our scouts and opposition analysts have been working for weeks on possibly the next team. So I'm sure they've been quite frustrated, but for us it doesn't feel too much different. As long as we know who we're playing by Monday, then we're okay. So that hasn't been a big issue.
How's it go going. Like, he looked devastated by the suspension on the day, and obviously he's not in the team or in the emergency component. How's he tracking just from, he knew he did the wrong things, and he looked gutted by it. And
Yeah, look, he was disappointed in that, but we're not going to. That doesn't define his legacy or who he is as a man. It's just he found himself out of the side because McGovern came back, and we've got some good young talent coming up and through, and giving them opportunity at some stage is going to happen. So he knows his position at the club. He's been a warrior for us for years. So yeah, his standing hasn't changed. It's just difficult at the moment to look at any form at scrimmages and 14 on 14 or 8 on 8. So we didn't play last week a scrimmage game. So there's all those variables that he's got to deal with. But we've got some older players on our list who aren't in the side at the moment that are handling themselves really well. Hickey and Vardy and those types, along with Will and Lewis. So that's just part of the game.
Do you know if you'll have any chance to do scrimmage matches when you get home?
I think it'll be difficult. Yeah, we'll be in quarantine from next week. So yeah, hopefully we can get. We'll probably end up playing Fremantle most weeks, I'm assuming, but that's okay. We haven't played each other yet.
You know what society's restrictions are when they quarantine at home? Are you guys under anything different to that, given the AFL rules as well? Are you shut off from your family in any way, or is it just go home and be human again?
No, we'll be in quarantine for 2 weeks. We will be allowed to leave our bedrooms for training. I would have thought everything else is under the same guidelines.
Are you happy with how Mark McGowan, the rules Mark McGowan's got on you and that, and goes to crowds as well? If he caps crowds, are you happy with the way he's handled it for you guys?
Oh, it's always a challenge. I mean, AFL's not the priority of the government, so we get that. And you heard me speak a few weeks ago about the concerns we had about staying here for up to 8 weeks. That was real. But yeah, to be given the opportunity to train while we're in quarantine, that's magnificent. And stay at home, yeah, we are definitely appreciative of that.
You had any phone calls from coaches saying?
I've had a couple.
What have they been asking? What's your advice to them?
Oh, well, I don't think there might be a bit more what not to do for the first few weeks anyway. But no, every club's going to be different. Every club's going to have different situations. I think we played 2 teams at home when we came up here with Brisbane and Gold Coast. I think playing teams on neutral grounds, it sort of takes away a little bit of that element. So every club's got different issues, and every club's going to handle it differently. And I think judging everything on wins and losses that's the way we operate as an industry. But like I said before, we've had a lot of growth off the field, and hopefully that takes place on field.